Okay, so I've taken off this dude right there. And so what I found was there are two solder points. One's on the bottom. As you can see, this little wire down there going down to this leg. And that one, that connection was pretty skookum. It was good, right? But this one, there was a connection up here, and that one was gone. So there was just like a loose wire that was wrapped around, and the connection point was broken. So I took some of the wire, and it looks like it's like fiberglass shielded or something like that. So I stripped off a little bit with my fingernail, and I took about an inch of that, and I looped it around that button right here on this right side. And that completed the circuit. I don't know how long that's gonna last, but it's good enough for me. So yeah, so proof is in the pudding. Let's turn it on. So here's my ancient code command, and boom. Completed by that thermal light delay switch. Now if I give it an amount of time, this guy will eventually turn off. We'll just slowly see it separate. Alright. Focus. I guess it's about as good as focus as I might get. This is a cell phone after all. Sooner or later, there he goes. Now if you watch it, it's gonna continue to separate, and separate, and separate, and now you can totally see now that there's a gap. Good times. Good times. So if you're wondering, that's what you gotta do. If you have one of these older, like, Electro executives, by Chamberlain, and this light up here isn't turning on for whatever reason, it's probably not your sockets. Your sockets are probably good. But more than likely, it's this little sucker right here, this thermal light delay switch. And so I didn't really I hit the contacts with a bit of Scotch-Brite, but all I really did was look for a loose connection. Either loose connection can be down here, or it's gonna be up here. And it seemed like if I just wrapped it around that little button there underneath, because it's like a button. There's like it's like a mushroom, right? The top part is flat, and there's a small shaft at the bottom. And I wrapped it around that small shaft about 4 or 5 times to make sure I got a connection. Ideally, I'd solder that, right? But whatever. This is good enough for me. Cool. And then one last action shot.